thing I did want to ask about was, let's go even to the next level. Let's say you've done all these things, you've kind of learned, you know, the lay of the land, how it all works. Us as wrestlers, we all want to be champion. And I think I'm certainly guilty of this. A lot of wrestlers are guilty of this. We probably, I don't know, I'm going to ask your opinion. I wonder if wrestlers put too much stock on being the champion. Like, there's been times where I've thought, you know, that was more important than how much money I was making or how over I was. How much does being the champion matter?
Let me tell you a little conversation I had with Harley Race. Harley was an 8-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I watched Harley from the beginning in Texas. And he said, wow, we were talking about the old belt. I don't remember how the conversation came about, but I'll never forget when he said, yeah, I remember after the 7th one, I had to get one more just to beat Thesz's record. Okay, because Lou Thesz was like a 6-time. He wanted to do it 2 times over what Lou Thesz had done. Thesz was a 6-time NWA champion. Triple H has said, if you're not in this to be the world heavyweight champion, then go home. If you're not in this to be the best and be the champion, why? Why not? Yes, it is a work. Yes, it is show business. But why is Ric Flair a 16-time plus world heavyweight champion? Because Ric Flair wanted to be the world champion. Anybody who gets in this wants to be the champion. Is it about carrying around this belt over our shoulder and look at the mark piece we have and all this stuff, and are we being marks? For Christ's sake, we're all marks. We love the business, but that's the passion you feel for it. Nobody else who doesn't, someone who doesn't love the business or doesn't understand it won't understand it. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Hogan, all those guys, they understood business. They understood it's about making money, but they also understood that when you're the Intercontinental Champion, the WWE Champion, whatever champion, there has that little line under there that says WWE. Of course, you know, we may say, oh, no, it's all a mark thing. We don't care about that. Of course we care about it. We wouldn't be in this business if we did. If we didn't care about it, we'd be an accountant. We'd be something else.
I'm glad you said that, Tom. I now feel better about how I feel about that.
yeah, seriously, because we all do. We all want to do it. Triple H has said it. Harley said it. Dory Funk has said it. Why are these guys? Back in the territory days, they would go to a different town every single night, defend the title. Everywhere they went, because it was that prestige. It was that feeling when you walked in, oh, my God, there's a world champion. If you don't feel that way, you're in the wrong business, in my opinion. So you have to love this business, and you have to understand, why did we want to get into it? The champions, the top guys were the ones who attracted us. And once we got in it, we wanted to be one of those guys. We wanted to have that prestige. We wanted to have that title. And anybody who tells you they didn't is lying.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that. On that topic, what are the responsibilities that come with being champion?
Well, now, there's the other side of the coin. Now, once they give you that opportunity and the responsibility, you do carry the weight on your shoulders. You're the guy who is supposed to draw. You are at the top of the card. When Hogan was champion, he was the guy. He was the man. When John Cena was drawing or champion, he was responsible for drawing. And you've had champions. I know Eddie Guerrero, when he was champion, he was so disappointed when they went to Europe and didn't do great houses. So disappointed when he would go someplace and the house wasn't as great as it should have been. But the point is, that should be something to strive for. That should be the driving force. So, yeah, there is a lot of responsibility, especially in the major companies here. You know, the old saying was the Intercontinental Championship was for the workhorses, for the Bret Harts, the Shawn Michaels, the Razors, and guys like that who could go out and you need that match on the card. And then you had Hogan, and then you had the Ultimate Warrior, and their responsibility was to do what they did. You know, Warrior was not a technical artist. No, not at all. He was abstract, if anything at all. He would come to the ring, but it wasn't about his wrestling ability. It was about, as the champion, it made sense for him to go out and do what he does best. And same thing with Goldberg. You don't need long matches with Goldberg, but it's only fitting to make him the champion. If you don't think someone is flattered or gives you an ego boost or confidence and even more courage to present yourself as the champion when you're given this trophy or this belt, you're wrong. Brock Lesnar, Brock doesn't really care about belts. At the same time, it's being the champion where you find your money and your big money. Lesnar not a belt marked by any stretch of the imagination. At the same time, when he comes in, he always finds his way to the championship because he is authentic, he's legitimate, and adding that title and giving him something to put over his shoulder or wear around his waist just adds to the mystique and the ambiance to his matches when he comes out. He's the guy that wears that huge belt and it has WWE on it. He walks out, it just fits. It's the whole presentation. It's his persona. And when you're the champion, they do consider how would this guy look wearing our title to the ring, and that's the way a lot of promoters think or thought.
It's interesting you say that about he found his way to the title, because I agree with you. Like, there's nothing about him that comes across as someone that's like, please give me the title. But you're right, he does always find his way there. Is there any advice to how to do that, or does Brock do that just by being Brock?
Well, Brock is unique. There's only one Brock Lesnar, and yeah, Brock does that because he doesn't fit anywhere else. He's not there for. You don't put him in the third match or intercontinental title match. You can, but he's only fits, in my opinion, in that one spot. If you want that spot, look who's been there. Daniel Bryan, not a big guy at all. What is it about Daniel Bryan that got him to that spot? Very talented, no doubt. Relationships, gravitas, knowing what he's talking about, seriously knowing what he's talking about, has the confidence, found the courage. You have to find it within yourself. You got to keep looking. If it's not here, it's over there. If it's not over there, it's over here. You got to keep looking. Try a bunch of stuff and keep what works.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, can I just say one thing about Daniel Bryan that I've noticed? To him, maybe more than anyone that comes to mind, we've spoke about, Jericho in a similar way for different reasons, like, him reinventing himself. But for Daniel Bryan, when I look at him, he's someone who I can't remember a time he tried something and didn't get it over. Like, everything that he's been involved with, he got over huge. Like, more than it was probably anticipated to. I remember we were talking to myself and Dalton Castle were doing a podcast for the Ring of Honor. They have like I think it's called, I can't remember the actual name of the podcast, but we were doing a podcast for Ring of Honor's website, and the writer for the Ring of Honor website used to be a writer at WWE, and he was saying he couldn't believe how over Team Hell No got with Kane and Daniel Bryan. And it's like, on paper, you might not think that's how you would, first use Daniel Bryan, but they got that so over. Yeah, how does he get everything he does over?
Well, obviously he made a connection. Daniel Bryan with the people, and sometimes it happens like that organically. Austin was the same way, who just organically got over, as was Kofi Kingston. Sometimes you catch lightning in a bottle like that. And Daniel Bryan understood, when he first got there, nobody wanted Daniel Bryan. With the Nexus, he came out and they destroyed the ring, and Daniel Bryan choked Justin Roberts with his tie. He got fired for that? What? I mean, he was doing what he was told to do. He got over with his relationships backstage, the way he handled himself backstage, the way he handled himself in the ring, and the people gravitated towards him. There was something special about him. Pardon me. Kofi Kingston had it happen to him before, too, at WrestleMania. You caught lightning in a bottle, and that doesn't happen all the time. So if you have someone getting over, regardless of what your plans are, you have to pay attention. And if you're smart, and you will pay attention to the crowd reaction. That's the agent's job, to report how the crowd is reacting and how people reacting backstage as well to this guy, and if he's got great ideas or interesting and different ideas, then that's an asset. And I think Daniel Bryan, who has always been talented, but not necessarily the most charismatic guy, found some charisma, found a way, and everybody goes down their own path. Some people have to pick up breadcrumbs and say, okay, this is the path somebody else followed. And then you get to the fork in the road. You say, I've done as much as I can do here and now. Which way do I go? And how do I get to be successful and popular and become that guy? It went to show that you don't necessarily have to be 6'4" and 230. You can be a smaller guy. It's not anymore. Is it about this and the monsters? It's about charisma. It's about personalities, and it's about connecting with your audience.